It is the early 1860s during the height of the Civil War, and a group of black American Union soldiers trudged through the Great Dismal Swamp of Southeast Virginia. All of a sudden, the soldiers reach a rise, turning into an island, and on the island sits a small village. The inhabitants of this village, and many others like it throughout the swamp, were mostly escaped slaves, also called Maroons. The first slaves were brought to Virginia in 1619. These slaves were largely used for agricultural labor, but were also used for other tasks such as logging and construction. Logging operations began in the Great Dismal Swamp in the 1630s, and soon many slaves would find themselves escaping into the swamp. Maroons are escaped slaves that often lived in villages isolated from the outside world. While Maroons are known to have existed throughout the Deep South, see my video on the town of Angola for more. The Great Dismal Swamp was one of the only major Maroon regions in the Upper South. Many Maroons settled on islands in the swamp. The white population nearby left the Maroons alone as long as they paid a tax in logs or shingles. Soon, the Great Dismal Swamp became a stop on the Underground Railroad, which was a path to the north for escaped slaves. While communities in the interior of the swamp were largely isolated from the outside world, those on the outskirts had more contact with the outside world, especially the communities near the Dismal Swamp Canal, opened in 1805. Tensions between the Maroons and the white population led to an attempted raid on the swamp by the militia with dogs in 1823. However, most of the Maroons avoided capture. In 1847, North Carolina passed a law aimed at apprehending the Maroons, but this too led to little results. Unlike many Maroon communities, for example, Angola and modern Bradenton, Florida, which were eventually found and destroyed by white soldiers, the Maroons of the Great Dismal Swamp were able to avoid being found. During the American Civil War, black American soldiers entered the Great Dismal Swamp, recruiting many of the Maroons there into the Union Army. With the end of the war and the abolition of slavery, many of the Great Dismal Swamp's Maroons left to find opportunity and family elsewhere. Large portions of the swamp were cleared for development or drained, causing more to leave with the influx of travelers and tourists. While the Maroon communities of the Great Dismal Swamp may not exist today, they were one of the more successful Maroon communities in the sense that they were never destroyed by the American military. The story of the Great Dismal Swamp Maroons is one of defiance against unbeatable odds and of freedom at all cost. Thanks for watching.